Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's intraday analysis video, brought to you by the creators of proprietary price, pattern, and time methodology. Learn the PPT strategies and profit for life. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. All right, folks, let's get into the action today on this Wednesday, May 29th, 2013. This is a daily chart of the SPY, and again, you can see the massive move up we've had since basically November, but at the same time, look at what's going on over the last week or so. We've had this big reversal candle on the biggest volume of 2013 right there, and sure enough, following that, we had a couple bounce back days, and then another hammering today. Now, we've come off the lows pretty drastically as the 20 MA on the daily is keeping the S&P propped up, but in all fairness, you've really seen a changeover over the last week or so in this market, where now it seems volume is coming in on the sell side. You got maybe some distribution, and again, the question is, does it spell the end of the short-term move up we've had over the last 6 months? I mean, are we going to see a bigger correction than a small pullback of 1% or 2%? Now, the key to this pullback, folks, is definitely interest rates. All right, if you look at the yields, which essentially are interest rates on the 10-year, yesterday they crossed 2%. Right now they're sitting at 2.15. All right, now the key to that, and the reason why that's important, is because you're seeing mortgage rates go up in unison with that. All right, now the Federal Reserve has clearly said that home prices are the key, and home buying is the key to getting this economy going back again. And sure enough, we've seen a pretty hot housing market, but that was before rates started to climb up. Now, everyone knows that if rates get too high, the average monthly payment for the average American, if they wanted to buy a house, is going to be literally $500 to $1,000 more. That's way, way too much, folks, for most Americans to just see all of a sudden an increase per month of $500 or $1,000. I mean, think about what type of tax that is on the individual. So that has to be a concern, and that's causing some issues with the market and causing these gyrations. In addition, probably the bigger factor here for the stock market is that the yield on the 10-year is now 2.15. Guess what the dividend yield is on the S&P 500? It's around 2%. So now you can make more money in terms of dividends or yields in the 10-year yield, in the 10-year bond. So all of a sudden that has now surpassed, which means money flow is coming out of dividend-paying stocks like, the S&P 500 players, and it's now rotating back into the 10-year. Because the rate is now giving them more than what the stock market dividend yield is. That's very important, folks. That's unbelievably important. Okay? Now, going to the intraday chart on the spiders, markets again sold off sharply earlier today, have come back a little bit. We're now starting to see a little bit of selling. Notice the high from today, this morning, and now, or just recently, basically matches up with this low pivot. And again, that's giving us a nice little bit of resistance right there. In addition, I wanted to go over a couple trades that we took profits on today. One of them was SPG. This was a swing trade on Simon Properties Group, and this was a great swing trade, folks. We shorted it right a couple days ago, literally, yesterday morning. So this is in 2 days we got this profit. We shorted it right here. Literally, it pierced the trigger level by 9 cents, triggering the trade. From that point on, that was at a price of $177.65, $177.65. Today, we covered at $1.70 and change, basically a $7 gain in a day swing trade, holding it from yesterday to today, $7 profit or 3.77%. And again, just think about making that. I mean, you just made in 1 day 3.77%. Now, you might think that's a lot, but you know what? We made more on another trade today. All right, yesterday in the technical analysis video, which is a premium video I give out to my members in the research center, I told them that I calculated the master level on Tesla, TSLA, and it was anything above 113. Essentially, 113 had to be triggered. All right, this morning, you gapped up to 113.55 right here. That, I said in the video last night to our members, you could buy puts on this, or you could short the stock if you can short the stock. A lot of people can't short the stock, so you play the puts instead. Sure enough, in the morning session, we literally shorted it, or in my case, I bought puts, and look at the drop on the stock. My puts were up as much as 50%. I took 40% gain literally in 2 hours on these puts. Members just raked in the cashola, And this was, again, a no-brainer. This is all coming back to the key analysis, the proprietary PPT methodology that we teach our members to find these levels. If you take the advanced cycled webinar and the methodology revealed webinar, I mean, these are all things that will lead you to be able to find out these levels on stocks that literally pay. I mean, 40% in probably about an hour of holding it. Incredible, guys. Absolutely incredible. So today, for swing traders in the Research Center, SPG is 3.77% profit. And that's in a one-day span from yesterday to today. And just today, as a swing trade, and again, we sold it on an intraday basis, but it was still meant as a swing, we took 40% on Tesla. Amazing profits there. Now let's go into a couple other charts out there. Let's take a look at what else is going on. Apple's actually having a pretty robust day here. Not above yesterday's highs yet, but again, what we're seeing with Apple is that anytime the markets are weak, Apple seems to be strong. It's almost trading inversely to the overall market. It's very fascinating to see that, in fact. And sure enough, we are seeing, again, Apple trading up today about $6, just under $6 to the upside. On the other hand, we're seeing stocks like Chevron, which is a dividend play, taking a little bit of a hit today. We're also seeing Google, which is taking a hit today again. Google's actually been very, very weak. Take a look at the move on Google off this high of 920 or so. The reversal down is now at 870. That's a $50 fall on Google, which is actually a pretty decent fall. In the scheme of the move up, it's not that big, but what I think is interesting today is it may close below the 20 MA. So watch that very, very closely. Now, gold is trading up today, which means gold plays are doing pretty well. That's a nice move on gold plays. Financials have been strong all day long, even this morning. And that could tell us, anytime you see financials being strong early when the market's at its lows, it usually dictates that you're going to bounce up a little bit. And sure enough, take a look at JPM. All right, if we go to the intraday JPM opened lower and surged up. See the three-bar surge, 1, 2, 3, and it went to the positive side. That told you that JPM was going to try to be the hero today, along with Goldman Sachs, which is having a great day, up $3 on Goldman Sachs. Same thing on Goldman. It gaps down and then surges to the positive side. And the markets, by the way, hit the lows over here. So Goldman was positive, up a couple dollars, even when the markets were hitting its lows, and that's a good signal for the market. Always watch these financials for a full view of where the market's going to be going over the next few hours, because it will give you a very, very good analysis technique. All right? So again, Goldman Sachs continues to march higher. The high is right here that you're looking at. That's going to be a little resistance. That's at the 164.5 level. That's the 52-week high. And if you get through that, there's a chance you could actually go all the way up to 175, which would be the high from 2011. Same thing on JP Morgan. If you take a look at JPM, JPM is trying to bust up and take out the high of the topping tail right here. This was a topping tail, classic topping tail. Now, topping tails fail when you close above the high of the tail. So we'll see if that happens. If it does close above it, then obviously you negate that. And actually, JPM could actually march higher if that's the case. So something we want to watch it very, very closely in the coming days. All right. Other stocks in motion. Take a look at Deere today. Deere is up $1, bouncing off the 200 on the daily. So a lot of support right down here. Could get a continued bounce up, in all fairness, maybe back to the 20. But watch the market. I mean, if the market gets very, very weak, it could spiral down very quickly. Caterpillar is up 35 cents. Small bounce on Caterpillar. Take a look at Bank of America. BAC up a little bit with the financials being strong. Halliburton today is up 19 cents. So in all fairness, I mean, you do have a lot of stocks that are negative today, and the markets are negative, but not that much. I mean, it's not an overwhelming negative day, mostly because the market has come very nicely off the lows. Now, we're starting to downtick a little bit, but the volume is so light here that it's hard to imagine we're going to see very much downside. If we were to close near the lows of the day, I think that would be very bearish for tomorrow. If we close up here, they could easily float the market up over the next couple days very, very easily. All right. On that note, folks, I'm going to step aside, going to get back to trading. Amazing profits here at InTheMoneyStocks.com continued to be generated. I mean, between small caps, large caps, and even options right now, the money is piling in for members. Come take the 7-day free trial. Again, InTheMoneyStocks.com. Research Center is geared towards swing traders and investors, while day traders head towards the Intra Day Stock Chat. Take care, guys. Have a great rest of the day.